Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today we have another Black Library review for you, and today we're going to be listening to the audio drama short, The Imprecations of Daemons by Nick Kyme and performed by John Banks, Beth Chalmers, Gesella Ohaka, Richard Reed and Fiona Skinner. So to start off with, let's set the scene of what exactly this little short audio drama is all about. And so, setting the scene, summoned by grave tidings, the Stormcast Malayan returns home to the place of her birth, the Iron Fastness. Many years ago, her father, Vaneth, a warrior priest of Sigma, helped banish the leader of a chaos cult that had taken root in the lands surrounding the Iron Fastness. However, chaos, as we know, does not rest easily, nor is it quick to leave somewhere where it has planted its seeds, and the evil Malayan, once put down in her mortal life, has risen once again to confront her now as a Stormcast Eternal. Upon returning to our ancestral home, Malayan finds much has changed in the 12 years since her reforging under the God King's hammers, and since he had taken her soul to Azir and she'd been across the realms in many different adventures. However, this evil has once again risen, and so only by reconciling with her past can she put to rest the chaos taint in her homelands once and for all. The story follows a Stormcast returning to their home. Her memory is still fresh. She must not have, perished all that much, and we now see her sort of her new form trying to reconcile with how it is and how her homeland is now in the time that has passed, and all the things that have happened to those she loved, and all the things she knew as well around her homeland. Imprecations of Daemons is a short audio drama. It goes for about 70 minutes all up. It's a fun little story and performed really well by all involved, and it's put together well by the person who wrote it. And so, categorization. It's always hard to sort of categorize these little short stories. They never really get too far into any, sort of genre in earnest, but if I did, this is probably a mystery. It's really the Stormcast delving in, trying to figure out exactly what's happened to her home and how she can best, fix it all and solve it. So definitely, I do think mystery is probably the closest thing, but like I said, it's really hard to sort of pinpoint something in such a short little novella. So, what is this story's purpose? So first of all, I think it gives us a really great look at how Stormcast like to remember their homes, those they loved, the feelings they had for that home, and they'll try to keep those bonds if they can. Of course, this isn't all Stormcast of every different chamber and every different storm host as well. All of them have very different feelings and different ways they like to remember. Some of them don't talk about their past at all, but others, like say the Hallowed Knights, like to remember everything. And this book sort of shows us the story. We don't actually know exactly what Stormhost the character actually is from in this book. We never really get a good sort of description of that, but it does show us that she wants to remember, she wants to help her homeland, and she feels obliged to, as she still feels that she is a part of that place. However, on the flip side, it shows us that maybe those who the Stormcast have left aren't as fondly able to receive the Stormcast back upon them. They maybe have a little bit of a grudge towards them. Maybe they feel that, why wasn't it me? They maybe have all these different feelings of oh, you left us when we needed you most, etc. It shows us those feelings. The story also gives us a really great glimpse into the insidious nature of chaos and how it can corrupt and how its corruption can spread and keep on spreading even though it's been rooted out many, many times. And so what did I think was the best part of the story? So what this short story did really well is I love the back and forth nature of the two intertwined stories. You have this past battle that's showing you how the Stormcast became reforged and how Malayan, who she was in her previous life, and her family, her sister and her father fighting alongside her to root out the Chaos Cult in the initial fight. And then you also have the story of her returning home as the Stormcast Malayan in her new form and how she's welcomed back in those 12 years that have passed. I think the cutscenes were really well executed within the story. They hit at the right moments. They came along and just gave you this sense of like just adding to the story and understanding maybe the passages we just heard from the different characters within the story in the more modern scene within the novel. It was really well done on all parts, just making the cutscenes at the right point to add to the story and not adding too many of them that they didn't matter, or every cutscene that was there mattered and showed us something that had just happened in the actual story proper. The main characters for the story. So Malaya, or Malian, as she's called when she is a Stormcast Eternal, you have to get used to remembering both names are the same character, is without a doubt the main character of our story. I guess the main side parts of the story really focus around Gesella and Vaneth, who are but her sister and father respectively. These are the three main characters that the story all revolves around. This family story here. Vaneth's a priest of Sigmar, and Gesella is one of the sisters. She is Malaya's sister, and Malian is now the Stormcast Eternal. So what changed about the main characters over the course of the story? Obviously, one of them becomes a Stormcast, and so we're sort of introduced to it at the start, but it is sort of character progression at the same time as we learn a lot about Malaya as a non-Stormcast and then Malian as a Stormcast. So, you know, it is sort of a bit of the character progression for her, learning how she became who she is now, rather than sort of getting that character progression for her. Though she does have a good character progression, and she starts to learn about her homeland and learn about how things have changed and how her place within her family has changed now as well. Vaneth himself is the other main character that has a lot of change within him. His faith is sorely tested. He's a warrior priest of Sigmar, and his faith in Sigmar is tested to the utmost within the story, and how he views faith and how he views the gods and Sigmar in particular changes dramatically over the story. And so who exactly would be interested in this story? I think those looking for something short to just listen to, maybe while you're doing a little bit of painting, maybe while you're doing the dishes, or you got a short bus ride into the city, or something like that. It's a surprisingly deep little look into the lives of those on the outer fringes of Sigmar's empire in the mortal realms. It also gives you a really good look at how Stormcast feel about leaving their former lives behind, how they deal with it, and how some of them, I guess, feel that they're on the outside now. They're no longer part of what their former life was, but they still want to cling on to it. It gives us a really good look at those particular parts of how Stormcast interact with the society they maybe were once a part of. In summary, this is a little solid short story. It has a really deep sort of look into its particular story arc, but it really has very little overarching narrative. It doesn't sort of continue with anything or take part in any major sort of adventure or, you know, focus within the mortal realms as a whole, but it's a fun little short story to give it a listen to. You know, if you can find this nice and cheap, it is a great listen, but it's not going to give you hours of listening. Obviously, it's 70 minutes, well performed, well written, and I would look forward to seeing more of this sort of in-depth look into the mortal realms in maybe a more longer form. Well, thank you all for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Also, while you're at it, why not come chat more with us on Discord? We've got a link in the description of the video below to our Discord server. You can come chat with me and other members of our fine little community here at Cineful Gaming. Lastly, we'd like to give a shout out to everyone who helps support the channel in various different ways. First of all, to our Patreon members, Christian Weir, James Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, James Crowder, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, Tim Newman, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, MJ, and Dyna226. Thank you to, as well, our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Fire Titan, Steve T, The Real Zeop, Chris Wallace, Turriot12, Vinny, and Lock Lorick. And a special thanks to our artist who does all the channel art for us, Lady Witchfox Art, thank you very much. And to our Discord moderator, Xmorphic, you do a fantastic job on Discord for us as well. Thank you all, everyone, for watching. If you'd like to help support on Patreon or YouTube member or help support the channel in another way, you can do so by following one of the links in the description of the video to Patreon or YouTube members, or go buy some Cineful Gaming merch from our Teespring store, also linked in the video's description. That's it for today, everyone. Thank you again. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.